Hello, everybody. It's Adonica from You Do You Unfiltered. And I have a wonderful guest today who lives across the ocean from me, which is so exciting because you can just talk because I just love the accents. And you probably think I have one,
Absolutely, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you have one, and we're both like, hmm, okay, because I don't think I have one.
No, and we never do when we're in our local environment, do we?
Yeah, no, no. But you can tell sometimes when when my girlfriends are from PEI in the East Coast and they have the twang,
Mm.
and then we have Newfoundland,
Yeah.
they have a twang. But yeah, this is amazing. I'm excited to have
I'm
you.
so excited. It's been such a long time since we originally spoke about doing this,
I know,
so I'm
this is
so excited to be speaking
great.
with you. Yeah, it's
And it's Anita. Anita,
it's
my
Anita
last name,
McKenna.
McKenna. And all the
Yeah,
way from the UK.
all the way from the UK, from Cheshire. So
Oh,
we have the Cheshire smile, the Cheshire cat smile.
wow. Is that really a thing? Do you have Cheshire cats out there?
Oh, well, there's cats in Cheshire. I'm not much of a cat person. I'm a dog girl, really. I love my
Are you?
little dog hiding away in the bedroom at the moment. So yeah.
What kind of little dog do you have?
She's a little mongrel. She's just a bit of a mix. She's a little
Oh,
scruffy thing. Yeah, she's
oh,
gorgeous.
so we
Yeah,
call those Heinz 57s over here. Those
yeah,
are like cute. It's like,
definitely.
there you go. It's a mix of everything.
She is. Yeah, yeah.
But only if we knew what we could now with like, you put all the dogs together, you got a labradoodle, you got a poodoodle, you got a doodle. We could have made a ton of cash. Back then, way
Absolutely.
back in the day,
Yeah,
you were like, I like
yeah. We
Heinz
know.
57s. They're the
Yeah.
ones the cutest, and they're loyal. They're loyal. They don't have problems with their bodies either. Because they're
Yeah,
normal.
well, that's it. That's the good thing about obviously the mixed breeds is that they don't have all of those inherent kind of probably, this push snouts and all that kind of stuff. So no. So
Oh,
hopefully she will live a long life. Yeah.
yes. So I met you back in, I think August. Last time we talked, was it
Yeah.
August or early? I think it was August.
It was at least August. It might have even been earlier than that, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It was a while
absolutely.
ago.
And I was actually not, I'm in Edmonton now. I was in my house in Vernon when I think I spoke to you.
Right.
It was the summertime. So I
Yeah, yeah,
was
it
probably in
was.
a bikini or something with a cover of
To be fair, no, you weren't. You were appropriately dressed.
okay, thank God. Because sometimes I look at it like, I said to my girlfriend today, I said, oh, I got a podcast. Like, oh, well, I'll put my green suit on. Just kidding. Are you ready for Christmas?
We're getting there, yeah, slowly. So we're finally made plans for who's hosting this year. So we're
Oh,
actually doing two Christmases because my sister's got lots of kids with little kids.
yeah.
So we're doing a Christmas day on the 21st with all
Right.
the bigger family, and then a
Yeah.
smaller Christmas on the 25th here at my house. So
Fantastic.
I'm hosting it. But that'll be an adult one.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I like that.
they're always yeah, a little bit different. So,
So we're going to talk about you and we're going to introduce you, but you have to introduce yourself now because I got nothing. So,
okay, I can
which
do
is
that.
super great because that gives you time to like tell everyone what you do and then tell us a story, which is that's why we're here because most people that I've spoke to have stories of how they got to where they are. And
Yeah.
some of them are hilarious and some of them are just heartfelt. Like it's just a variety of stories. So,
Yes.
platform is yours. I might pop in and ask a question,
Amazing.
but let's do it. So off you go. Who are you? What's your story?
Look, my name is Anita McKenna, and I am a transformation life coach. I'm also a counsellor and a speaker. And so the story that I tell is 7 years ago, I was sat at the airport in Manchester Airport, waiting to go on holiday, and I was there with my parents and my daughter. And we were really looking forward to going and having a lovely holiday, week in the sun. I'd not been away with my parents abroad before with my daughter, so we were all very excited to go and have this lovely week. And as I was sat there, an email arrived, and it was an email from my mortgage broker who I'd been working with for about 4 months. And I kind of been jumping through hoops and loops trying to prove that I was good enough to get this mortgage.
Yeah.
And because my circumstances were quite unique at that point,
Right.
so I went with this particular broker because I thought that they would help me, they would be able to sort of sort my deal out. But the email arrived and he basically said, we can't get you the mortgage. There's nothing else they can do.
Hmm.
And I just remember being sat in that lounge and kind of, obviously my heart dropped and the feeling of what on earth am I going to do now? Looking around at my family and they're still having fun. How do I tell them? How do I spoil their holiday, when I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Yes.
spoil the fun for them. So sat there feeling really alone, feeling really quite isolated in that. And literally just kind of sat there going, yeah, what the fuck hell am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Um, and so that was kind of the beginning of it, of me stepping into this version of myself. And just to give some context to that story, 9 years prior to that, I had effectively survived losing everything. So I had my gorgeous daughter, so she's 16 now. I had her. And then 7 weeks later, her dad left.
Um,
And then a couple of months after that, I returned to work and got made redundant. A couple of months after that, I'd had to surrender the keys to my home and another property I owned as a rental property, and basically lost all my financial independence.
wow.
So, obviously, devastating time. At that point, as part of my survival, I went and got some counselling for myself,
Right.
and which was just so valuable to me to kind of help me to move forwards. And I also then went and trained and qualified as a counsellor for
Nice.
my own benefit, which was amazing. And I still love doing that work today. But what I realized sat in that airport lounge 7 years ago was that I needed something beyond counselling. It wasn't enough. It wasn't going to get me through this space.
Right.
Counselling is amazing, but it's more about trauma rather than the coping of
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the beginning of my transformation. Like I said, that I realized that I just needed something more. And so it was there that I began to look at how can I move forwards? What can I do? Where can I get my passion? Because like I said, my daughter at that point, she was um, getting close to heading into high school. Now over here, high school is age 11. I know
Oh,
there's slightly different ages. So she was going off into that next phase of her life. She was going to kind of go and start her journey into kind of stepping into the teenage years and
yeah.
creating some independence for herself. And I really needed something for myself to begin to understand, what do I want to do? Because the counselling wasn't enough.
Right.
That was when I then discovered coaching. And
Oh,
coaching was amazing because I love it because it very much takes you to the place where you want to be going.
right.
It's very sort of moving forwards and kind of goal driven. I mean, there is solution focused
Yeah.
counseling as well, but I love the dynamism. Can never say that word. Um,
Is it a word?
of yeah, there is a word there somewhere, but I can never quite remember it.
Oh,
Dynamism, something like that.
oh,
Uh,
whatever. You make it
the
up. It's great.
dynamicness is
Oh,
probably the
dynamicness
best way
or dynamism.
of
I like that one.
coaching.
I love that one.
We'll use that one.
I will use that one. That's your word.
Yeah.
Don't get
So that was what I did. I went and got my certification for coaching, and that's what I do now is I help women specifically who feel that they've got no options, just like I felt there in that airport. I felt
yeah.
I had no options, I felt like I was stuck um, because something had just completely sideswiped me.
Right.
So I kind of help women now to step into their power, to step into that version of themselves that they want to be. So quite often as women, we believe that we have to serve other people, that we have to take care of everybody else's needs.
Yeah.
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 And I think especially as a mom, if you've got children, then that can even, make it worse because, obviously we have to take care of them. Um, and I think it's beginning to understand that we can also take care of ourselves in that space, that we can also
Absolutely.
prioritize our own needs. We can begin to put some gorgeous guilt-free boundaries in
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
supports us to kind of
Absolutely.
be the version of ourselves that we want to be, especially as we're getting later in life. Kids are beginning to move on. They're kind of beginning to take care of themselves. That we can have our own life. We can do these things. We can be the version of ourselves that we want to be.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting you say that because being an empty nester this year, it's
Oh, right. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's another stage of life for a woman. It's
It
just
is absolutely.
we have lots of stages in our life. I
We
figure that
do.
we've had so many stages in our
Yeah.
life where we're like, you're the fiance, then we become the wife, then we become the caregiver of the house, and then we get pregnant, and then we become a mom, and
Yeah.
then we're in the caregiving for the bazillion years that we have until they move out.
Yes.
Now you sit in that space going, now what?
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
and that's the, and I think so many people, sorry to interrupt, but I think so many women, they get to that now what, and they kind of think, is this it?
yeah,
Is,
yeah.
do I just sit and
Well, I'll
wait
just
till
go
the
shopping. Or
time?
like, you know what I mean? Like it's like they feel material. And that's it's kind of great that we have people like yourself that can help us maneuver not at any stage of our life. Now I think back, and I'm not sure how old you are, but when you were growing up, did your mom do that? Like you like I know that my mom is 80, God, in her 80s, I'll just say that. And it's such a different
Absolutely.
dynamic
Yes.
and
Yeah.
eras where she's looking at me going, holy, I would never do that when I was your age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why? Because like,
Absolutely.
do
Well,
what
'cause my
you
mum was, yeah, stay-at-home mom. I mean,
do.
she did go to work, but not until we went into high school.
Yeah,
So
yeah, my mom.
we had a level of independence before she went to
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
She retired at 60.
yeah,
So I'm 54. So
yeah.
I'm kind of
Little,
approaching that kind of age,
yeah,
I mean, not. And it's funny, you think of somebody who was 60 when we were sort of in our 20s and
yeah,
30s, and it was
yeah.
like, God, that's ancient. How old is that? But
Wow.
now I'm kind of,
Yeah,
nudging those numbers. It's
yeah.
like, no, it can't be that, It's
No,
yeah,
yeah. It's kind of it's lovely because I've talked to a lot of women that are doing different parts of our lives to help us see through because I believe that you always can't see what you see. You always need that
absolutely.
second person to see that. And
Yes.
it's kind of been a very it's talked about more. It's not a hushy
Yes.
thing anymore. It's like
No.
menopause is coming out. There's stuff about women's lives or that are coming out. They're like, what do we do next? And there's an answer because you can grab to you or grab to whoever you want, and they can
Mhm.
help you maneuver through that. Because I know that
Yeah.
people get a lot of stuck. And I thought to myself too, I thought, oh my God, my kid's gone. Now what do I do? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do
Yeah.
a podcast, right?
Yeah.
And then
Amazing.
you find
Yeah.
that love. You find that
Yeah.
love and you find that purpose. And that's so exciting to
Yeah.
have people like yourself to help us or the women out there to
Yeah.
find that purpose. Because a lot
Definitely.
of us have been stay-at-home moms.
Yeah. And that's it. I think again, when that's been your role is taking
Yeah.
care of others
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not focusing on yourself, it
Yeah.
can be really unsettling
It's
to
back
kind of
burner.
go, like you say, what
Yeah.
do I do then? The
Yeah.
friggin' hell do I do with all my time? Or,
I know.
you know,
Yeah.
how do I prioritize myself?
Yeah. You start a
What
business.
are
You
those
start a
things?
business. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, that's
You just
it.
start a business when you're 58 and then you do the podcast when you're 50. Well, I'm 59 now, so do pop.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because we've been on the back burner because our
Yes.
jobs and our roles were so out there because you wanted to make the family balance. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden that back burner's off and you're like, okay, now I'm a front burner. Now what? Am I gonna
Yeah.
or am I gonna grab what I love and do it? And it's really hard because I've talked to women about this and they don't know how to start.
No.
No, they don't know. So if you could tell women out there briefly, give them something like take one of your big things and say, this is how baby steps. This is how you start.
Yeah.
What would you say? What
Oh,
would you
do
say?
you know what the biggest thing that I share now for something that you can do instantly today is just do one thing every single day that scares you.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be the massive stuff. It doesn't have to be jumping out of a plane or,
When he's jumping off a bridge.
tarantulas
Oh,
or, it doesn't have to be
yeah,
those things.
right. Yeah.
It can be really simple stuff. So a client I was working with, she was really quite anxious and so really struggled to make eye contact with people as she passed them by. So her thing that she did was she just said hello to people.
Yeah.
And which obviously for a lot of us is just like a nothing. We don't
Yeah.
even
You
consider
just,
it. We don't
yeah, it's
think
easy.
about it. But for her, it was massive. So actually to literally lift her head and look at
And
people,
look at
say
people.
hello.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing for her. And obviously there was the odd person that ignored her and didn't sort of say hello back. But generally the responses she got back were amazing. People smiling and saying, which really then boosted her confidence.
Yeah, that
Um,
was.
so just doing little things like that to begin to push your comfort zone. And that's the thing that I always say is do the things that push your comfort zone that you don't die.
Yeah.
You learn, you get the information that if I do that thing, I don't die, which then gives us the happy
Happy.
hormones, those
Yeah.
feeling good about ourselves, which then encourages us to
Yeah.
do it again, to do
Well,
more of it.
do
Yeah.
more of it.
Which is kind of
Absolutely.
where I've got to now, because when I think back to sat in that airport 7 years ago, I would never have dreamed of coming online and doing a video.
Yeah.
I would have never have dreamed of talking about, menopause or
Yeah.
any of that stuff. It would
Absolutely.
have been
Yeah.
we'd have to talk about those things.
We don't.
But now, because I've been pushing my comfort zone for such a long time,
Yeah.
I'm very happy to show up in this space and, very happy to talk about my story because I used to have a lot of shame around it, a lot of shame of what happened, certainly in my daughter's very early life, being left, being made redundant, losing everything, feeling
Yeah.
like a real failure. But so I would never really speak about it. I was very prickly about it. But
Yeah.
because I've done the work for myself and seeing how by going for your goals, by pushing that comfort
Yeah.
zone and going for your goals, understanding what your goals look like,
Yeah.
it helps us to heal those wounds, but
Right.
also to share that to other people, to be an inspiration for other people
Well,
who
absolutely.
are facing difficult times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we're the last persons to take care of ourselves, unfortunately.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but I think we're getting better. I think uh,
absolutely.
I think the more stories that people tell and women tell, even men too as well. There's a lot of men that don't take care of themselves as well, and they're just
Yes,
money, 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 breadwinner, breadwinner, got to support my
yeah,
family, and they don't either. But the more stories that because health, and you probably see it that if you don't take care of yourself, health is the first thing to go,
yes, yeah,
and you're gonna, and that's where you have to stop and just pause, breathe. And I
yeah,
love that you say to something scary. Okay, so guess what?
yeah,
So this is so funny. So Pamela Anderson used to be in Baywatch, and I thought, okay, and I hate putting makeup on, and she's gone
yeah,
make lists forever. And I said, my husband and I went to the game the other night, hockey game, and I said, he goes, okay, we're gonna leave in 10 minutes. I said, oh gosh, I don't have my makeup on, and I said, screw it.
yeah,
Out I
yeah,
go. I don't really care. Don't even care. And I thought it was so very, very kind of like a wow. Like I don't
yeah,
care how you think look. I really don't. As long as I'm okay inside and I've
yes,
got me. But that's a
yeah,
big movement right now is the way women portray themselves outside the house.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
want to be that same person. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and it's that's one of the things that I think people forget is how much it costs them of their authentic self.
Yeah.
So when we're being the mum, or we're
Yeah.
being the wife, or we're being the employee, or we're
Yeah.
being the daughter,
Yeah.
we put facades on.
Yes,
We
we do.
kind
Yes,
of
we do.
give an image of what we believe we're supposed to be in that role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whereas actually being able to just be your authentic self and
I
kind of
love it.
going, fuck you. If you don't like it, that's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm good with it.
Because this is me and
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. I
Yeah.
like who I am.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then that's okay.
Yeah.
We just won't
Yeah.
spend time together.
Yeah.
And being okay in that, that's gorgeous, living in that space.
I know it's kind of scary because there's Christmas parties coming. I'm like, okay, okay. So now, I said I said to myself, I always say stuff to myself in the mirror. I am my life. I'm an
Yeah.
affirmation, and
Yeah.
so I I'm embracing the curl of my hair, which has gone really bad, and embracing the no makeup. And then I went out on the weekend on a walk, and my girlfriend went to me, "Do you get a perm?" No, like it's like it's because that's what we see. You don't have
Yeah.
makeup on, your hair's a mess. Are
Yeah.
you okay? But
Yeah. Okay.
no, that's not. This is me grasping me
Yes.
and being
Yes.
okay with me. But
Yeah.
if you're not made up and you're not put together, everyone thinks, oh my God, there's something wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and I think that's it. If that's what you've already always presented as
Yeah,
this lovely, well presented, made up,
Yeah,
hair
yeah.
hair done perfect. If you've always presented as
And all
that,
of a sudden,
then
yeah,
it is a bit worrying when you see somebody who's kind
yeah,
of gone au
yeah,
natural,
yeah,
And
absolutely,
obviously your
yeah,
hair's gorgeous as it
yeah.
is. I love flat curls like that.
I, I,
But
I know.
uh, but we never appreciate what we've got. My daughter's got gorgeous curls as well, and she hates them. Um, but it's recognizing that, and it's that, but it's having that
Oh,
courage
and
to
courage.
show up
Yes.
as yourself
Yeah.
and be okay with that. Letting people know that this is me
This is what you get.
and get used to it because I'm not putting makeup on anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well, sunscreen, like a little tin of sunscreen, especially
yeah,
like we just have to be careful. Like, yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to put on the fake eyelashes and,
no,
maybe a little gloss.
yeah.
I don't have to wear a toque anyway, like a hat anyway, so it's gold, so who cares? But it's kind of nice to talk to somebody that knows that it is okay to be who you are. It's okay to go to the grocery store, go everywhere you go without just be
Yes,
you. Like
yes.
be
And I am just going to caveat that the other way as well. If you like wearing makeup,
go for
then it's
it.
okay to wear as
Okay.
makeup as well. It's who
What's
you want to be and
absolutely,
presenting that version of
absolutely.
the version of you who
Yeah.
is you rather
Yeah, I'm
than the
just
version
talking
of
about
me.
me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's a little bit
Yeah,
different. I'm talking
yeah.
about me. If
For
that
you, yes,
if this makes
totally.
me okay, then with
Yeah,
me, perfectly
yeah,
fine. You have to find that for you, for
yes.
you. And that's kind of cool because like I I'm an athlete, so I work out every morning. I don't have time. You're lucky you got a shower today. 'Cause it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, should I shower before I need it today? Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta wash it anyways. I'll do it. I didn't. But yeah, that's what I mean. You have to really sit in your own space
Yes. Yeah.
and find you. I'm doing this for me. You might
Yeah.
find something different. Like
Yeah.
you might love, and maybe that's your meditation is getting up and doing things. That's the point. You got to find who you are and do you. That's what
Yeah.
this is called. You do you, right?
And that's the thing is so many people don't know who they are because they've been doing the roles for so long. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about the work that I do is helping women to understand who they even are, to
Yeah.
actually even begin to access those parts of themselves of what they like and what they don't like,
Yeah.
because they've always just done what other people want. And
Yeah.
actually, they may turn around and go, do you know what? But I hate football, but I always go.
Oh, well,
Or I hate pizza.
I always buy it.
But we always have pizza on a Friday, or whatever it is,
Yeah,
because what other
absolutely.
people want.
Yeah.
Whereas actually for them to even just begin
Yeah.
to
Scary.
ask themselves that
Yeah.
question, what do I want?
Yeah.
It's
And a lot of people
such
can't
a
answer it, but
powerful
that's
question.
okay, right? That's okay. And I'm a big journaler. So I like,
Mm.
if I find something, I write down. If I
Yeah,
find, oh my God, I like that recipe, I write down. And
yeah,
that's what you have to figure out is to step out of what you're doing now and just step into you. And I
yeah,
love that message that you give everyone. Me not putting makeup on and doing my hair, that's me. I feel okay.
yes,
You got to find your own. But it's nice
yes,
that you like it could be different. And I'm
yeah,
excited to see what the world comes up with. That's the
yeah,
little there because we're strong. You might
absolutely.
not feel it, but we're strong women. We're
Yeah,
strong.
yeah.
And
And I think women can feel that they are weak,
yeah,
when they've lived in that space for such a long time of taking care of others, that I've got nothing about myself. But actually, the fact that they've been able to do that for all of those years
yeah,
proves how strong they are,
absolutely.
that they haven't buckled underneath all of that pressure. Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us
Yeah.
about this challenge. I know that it's coming up on Facebook, but you do it in the new year. Tell us about this 5-day challenge that you have coming.
Yes, so it is called Reclaim Your Time, Energy, and Authenticity by mastering guilt-free boundaries so that you can become that version of yourself that you want to be. And it's all around, really recognizing where we are giving away our power, where we are kind of giving away all of our energy, all of our
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
in other areas because we don't feel we're allowed to ask for it for ourselves.
Nice.
So it is specifically for women. Any
Yeah.
men that are listening, I'm really sorry, but no, it's just for women.
Okay. Okay. They're,
I'll have to do something at some point for
that's their
men
own
because
stuff.
I keep getting
Yeah.
asked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is for women. And it's specifically for, sort of driven women who they kind of, and it's often sort of professional women who are busy in their work
Right.
life and in their home life. They really struggle with the boundaries. They really struggle to say no.
Yeah.
Um, and it's getting that balance, getting that kind of blend of beginning to give a bit more of their energy into the places that they want to be giving it rather than giving it away in
Right.
places that they feel they've got no choice over.
Right.
So it's 5 days. We are going to be running, I think it's the 20th of January, but we'll come, I'll check that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm
I'll
going to
give,
put a link. We can put a
I was
link.
going to say, I will give you the link so that people can
Absolutely.
just sign up for that. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely. Uh,
And yeah, it's just 5 days. So it's on Facebook. There's emails go out in the morning, and I show up in the evening doing a Facebook Live,
yeah.
which is perfect for people over your side of the world because
Fine.
it'll be daytime for you.
Yeah.
Yes. And obviously everything's on catch up so that they can do
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Oh,
But over
perfect.
the 5 days build on each other, so that by the end of the week you've got a really lovely, powerful statement that you can use for
Nice.
yourself to begin to assert yourself in kind of creating these guilt-free boundaries so that you are stepping into that lovely version of yourself that, the authentic version
Yeah.
that knows what she wants and knows how to ask for it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Well, we're going to put the link for that in your bio and all that great stuff too as
perfect.
well. Okay, you
Yeah.
ready? Have you thought about what's quirky about you?
What's quirky about me?
Come on.
I'm British, so I have a funny accent.
No, that's not right. Do you have a kind of like a habit that's quirky?
Working is I know that's ridiculous, but it's I love so much what I do.
I love it.
And I think possibly the quirky side of it is that I keep building on what I've done. So I began as a counselor, then I moved into coaching. I've just started doing stand-up speaking events, which I know for so many people is terrifying. And I think what I've realized is I love being the celebrity in my world.
Yes.
If anybody knows anything about sacred money archetypes, I am a
Yeah,
celebrity. And it
I
means
love
that,
it.
I love being the star of the show. I get to show off uh,
Love
in
it.
my world.
Yes.
And yeah, and kind of, which is why I love doing things like this, doing the 5 day challenge. I do
Yes.
a masterclass regularly where I just get to be the star of the show. And I love that. I love being able to do it. And I love being able to say it
Yes.
without
Out
hiding.
loud.
Yeah. I'm number 3 out of 4 girls. So I
Mm.
grew up with middle child syndrome big
Ah,
time. Wasn't ever important as I didn't feel important as a child. So I'm
yes.
making up for it now by going, I'm here, look.
And I'm the oldest, and then I have two
Oh yeah.
brothers. And I'm like, I wish my mother just had gotten one more girl. I'm like, oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's perfect. It worked out perfectly. Well, this has been a pleasure to talk to you
Lovely.
today. So I'm going to
Yes.
put all your social media and your link to
Fabulous.
your 5 day challenge, and people can get a
Amazing.
hold of you if you're anywhere in the world, actually. Apparently, you probably do everything online,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes. And
And
that's the beauty of this, isn't it now? That we can connect with anybody all around the world. Yes.
thank
Yeah.
God. Thank God, because
Yes.
I know when I was growing up, it was a rotary
Yeah. The
phone.
proper dial up.
And the cord was about this, about a bazillion miles long. You could go around the house with it. I remember my mother, she was so much fun. She was like, she'd be mad at the kids and the phone would ring and she'd be a different person. She'd be
Yes.
yelling at us. She goes, hello? How do we do that switch, Mom?
Yeah, the proper phone voice.
That proper phone rules up. That was
Yeah.
the olden days. Now it's like, oh, mute. So, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm
Oh, thank you
excited
so
to
much.
share this story with everybody, and I'll put all your links to and your 5 day challenge as well. And we'll talk again.
Definitely, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been so lovely. I love speaking with you.
Oh, yeah. And it's been a long time since.
Yes, it has.
But now we're back. Now we're
We're
back.
back.
We're back, and we'll talk again.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.